not know anyone that wore 67. D, do you know anyone on top of your head?
Oh man, I feel
Did
like a
not do my
Matthews
homework.
brother. Was there a Matthews father, son, uncle that wore 67 lineman? I don't know. I don't know.
67 is an offensive lineman number, but I don't know. Taj Gibson wore. We're not naming the Taj.
Wait a minute. Taj Gibson, the one that was on the Bulls. You
Yeah, he
joking?
wore it. He wore it with the Knicks a couple of years ago or this year. He
Okay,
was
well
a
that doesn't
forward.
count because if we're gonna talk about Taj Gibson, we got to give prime Taj Gibson. Like that's his name, that's his number now, maybe. But like when you think of Taj Gibson, you don't think of the one that was on the New York Knicks. You think of the brother that was on the original
That's true.
Bulls team, Derrick Rose, MVP Bulls.
Who wore 67? Well, we'll get to that later. I am your
Shout out to
host, in the Ocean. As always, joined by the smoothest man on the planet, Losty Mix. How are you living on this beautiful Tuesday evening?
Well, we were doing some pre-pod, and I was letting you know about a certain I don't want to say I don't want to say incident, certain squabble that I'm currently working through.
Yes.
So other than that, I'm feeling good, man. It's been another good week. I think next week I got all the entire week off from work. Uh,
Hey.
so I'm definitely doing some big time chilling, big time living. I wish I would have just made plans during this week, maybe later in like earlier in the year. Like I got to like a month ago, and I was like, oh yeah, I have a week off in August. Completely forgot about it, so I didn't make any plans. Maybe the best plans are no plans. And then
Yeah.
my girl coming in town tomorrow, so you know what's up.
Oh. D, are you doing anything special?
Beating the cheeks. We have we off the rails early. We off the rails early. Okay, my
Yo, sir. Oh my God.
yeah. Yeah, we
Sir.
getting a few now we trying a few new food spots around here that I haven't tried. We're gonna do it, maybe hit a few clubs, hit a few day parties, see what's up. Well, we're off the rails already. We
Yo.
250 in, we off the rails already. Yeah, no, I'm excited, man. Also, I just won tickets to the International Women's Championship Cup. There is a match here in the
Oh, nice.
city I'm living in next weekend, next Saturday. So excited to see that. If you guys don't know out here, I love sports. I love watch. I like. Well, I mean, I love all sports. I particularly love watching like live sports. I think especially if you're like a real sports fan, seeing people at the highest level play sports, whether it's college, high school, college, professional. If you ever get a chance, I always encourage people to do it. I think it's fun, no matter the sport too. Even if you're not interested, sometimes just seeing it live can make you interested. That's how I felt about baseball.
Yeah, same. I
I
can't
was
watch a
like,
baseball game, but I love going to baseball. Like seeing baseball in person is a lot better than on TV.
see, that was the thing. Well, I was watching. Like I watched a few games like at home. It wasn't until I went to one and I was like, okay, this is why people will sit home and watch this shit like with no hesitation. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I hear the same thing about hockey games. Never been to a hockey game, but people say, "Yo, hockey games off the rails. Like it's up and it's stuck." Uh, so I don't know how we got there, but shout out to everyone out here. That's it's going to this thing next Saturday. So like, yeah, I'm going to the International Women's Cup next Saturday. It's a couple matches we have here, so really excited, really, really excited. How are you doing, man? No, how are you? How are you?
I'm living the dream. I'm excited about the show tonight. You and I behind the scenes have been talking a lot of fantasy. Drafts are coming up.
Oh
Leagues are
yeah,
getting started. Like this thing
oh
is
yeah.
getting fired up. And with that being said, head over to goingfor2.com for all your fantasy needs. I have been deep in the trenches trying to scout, trying to get better because D, I am winning your league this year. I'm tired of losing money. I need to get some of my money back, and I'm going to win the league this year.
I guess I should ask you which league are you thinking about winning? Because
Uh,
as of last week, so the listeners don't know, as of last week, people, I don't want to say my fantasy league brand, but I'm expanding my commissionership to 2 leagues now. So me and Danny are currently in a redraft league. I'm expanding my commissioner brandmanship to 2 leagues now. One being a redraft league, and this new league will now be a dynasty league. I want to try out the sleeper app, so the sleeper fantasy app. So this league will be run on the sleeper fantasy app. I think we got like a spot, maybe 2 open right now. It's 10-team PPR Dynasty League. So you will keep your team year after year. If anyone is interested, please DM myself or Danny on Twitter or IG, wherever you see us. Let's discuss it. When this league fills up, it fills up. So if you hear this and I'm going to think about it, cool, think about it. I'm gonna let you know right now. When it hits 10, it hits 10, and it's a dynasty league, so you're gonna be waiting until someone drops if they do. Which
will probably mean I've never done a dynasty league, so I'm really interested to see how, because again, like you have to have a balanced amount of veterans, but you also got to like invest in. So if there's a young receiver that you think is going to be a beast, grab them. But the thing about your league is, can you use the IR slots as a way to hide players? Because I was reading that some leagues have some, like it's called like a taxi, like you keep them in the taxi, and then when you're ready, once they're out the taxi, they can't go back in.
No, I in this league, I didn't know enough about the taxis. Didn't even want to try it out. Just nixed it. Like,
okay,
no,
that's like the kitty in spades.
Yeah. And then for IR, I said for IR be players who have COVID, players who are out, players who are suspended. So you can't hide it. Your roster is your roster. Your roster is your roster. I don't want to play that. Like what Gator J said. Taxis for rookies. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't even want to learn about the taxi system, because like if you know what I'm saying, because like if the real fantasy dynasty players say, yo, we don't really do taxes, no need to even get into it. But yeah, so if you hear this, we got a couple spots open. DM myself or Danny on Instagram and Twitter. We can talk about it. And I'm letting because Danny, we reached out to people we know, our friends. I've been letting some people know, even people we're in the redraft league with, letting them know. We had one person join from the redraft league.
Yep.
Kyle's in. Looks like Gator J might want in. So Gator J, we'll make sure to holler at you after this. But this is what's going to happen. I know this is what's going to happen. It's either going to be like right before the draft or like during the next offseason, like this time next year. I'm going to get like 2 or 3 people hitting me up. Hey, yo, dog, you still got that Dynasty League?
Nope.
Dynasty League? And I'm going to look back and I'm going to be like, yo, this is why I told you to join the league. Just if you want it in, just join it, because this is one of those things where like, one, it's year after year, so you keep your team. It's so hard to kick someone out, like especially if they're managing their team. I have no justification for being like, yo, this guy's got to go.
Yeah, unless someone's like obviously tanking or like trading, like doing terrible trades.
All they have to say is, last year was a bad year. This year, next year, I'm gonna step it up. And that's a whole. Now you got to wait a whole year for them to prove that.
I'm looking forward to actually being a GM and like doing trades. Like you can trade picks, right?
Yeah. Now that's why I want to fill this league up so we can do the draft order. Once we know the draft order, boom. Once we know the draft order, it is in. We'll let everyone know that's listening as well. This is a money league. I think this is maybe because everyone says they're interested, and then I say this next information I'm getting ready to say. I've had like 4 people drop out, so maybe we're the crazy ones. This is a money league, people. It's an $80 buy-in. Winner gets $700. Second place gets $100. 10 teams.
Can we draft? So free things. Hello, Kyle. Gator, I've received your DM. And then Kyle has a question about the league. I don't know what this means. Can we draft during the startup draft? Kyle, I don't know what that means.
I think he's asking like if we can. I think he wants to know if we can do the draft when we do the draft lottery.
Oh, like just go in. Oh, that gives you no time to like strategize or anything.
Oh, you said can we trade during the startup draft?
Oh, okay. I get what he's saying. The original draft. So this draft, when we draft everyone, because after this you just draft rookies. So the original draft, he's saying, can we trade picks for the original?
We should be able to. We should be able to in the sleeper app, right? I can do a little more research. Kyle, if you have any knowledge about the sleeper app, let me know. I feel like we should be able to trade during the start.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little intimidated playing in a league with Kyle. Kyle's in like 30 leagues. Like Kyle does this.
You know the thing is, but I'm actually excited because it's like now you're going against obviously people who really know not only regular redraft fantasy but dynasty fantasy. So even like in the off season, granted, I imagine Kyle's going to want to limit his true game that he wants to be giving up during the season. I'm talking about during the off season. Y'all can have a conversation. You might learn some things. I feel like,
Yeah.
And that's another thing why I think this is good because in this league, I'm gonna make this known as well. There's no kicker. There's no team defenses. Since it's a dynasty league, this is one quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, a tight end, 3 flexes, and 1 independent defensive player. I've set up the independent defensive player scoring to where I think it'll be pretty equal no matter if you get a linebacker, defensive lineman, or a defensive back.
You worked really hard on that. We talked a long time about the scoring for the defensive player.
And I want everyone to know there is no standard scoring for IDP that everyone can agree on because everyone in the world who knows football will tell you right now, we all value it differently when it comes to defensive plays. So the way I did it was basically making it so the biggest impactful defensive plays score points, sacks, interceptions, either fumble recovery and fumble returns, safeties,
and then pass breakups. You put more value on pass breakups too.
Yeah, tackles, solo tackles, assist tackles. So I'm trying to make it to where like you got to know some football and you got to know how to put a team together. So that's why I'm excited and seeing roster management. Like if you're the dude who gets the number 1 overall pick, do you trade back thinking? Because the ADP isn't going to be the same. I don't know if you looked at that yet. So I found out in Sleeper that they adjust your ADP depending on the scoring. Yep. Hey, yo, dog. Jonathan Taylor's number 1 on pretty much everyone's board, but now it's like in our league now it's like do you want Justin Jefferson?
Yeah, or Justin Herbert. Yeah, Herbert, young stud.
And I'm like, why would you take Patrick Mahomes at 7th? It's like, oh well.
I mean,
he's years, right?
He's 25 years old.
Yeah,
yeah, that's the thing.
So I'm excited. You got like 2-3 spots. I know I got PJ. I don't know if he's watching, but if he's listening, I know he's also trying to help us finish out the league. We got a couple more spots, but when this 10 is up, and you will have to wait until someone leaves the league. So I didn't think we were going to start the 1 QB yes, 1 QB Gator J. I don't know. I hear everyone say the 2 QB thing. Let's give it a year, then we can discuss.
Flex it up. Give me a super flex, man. Give me 2 QBs. It's so much fun, but I understand. We can try it next year.
Well, if we do if everyone wants, because a super flex is a QB, wide receiver, running back, or tight end, right?
Yeah.
I mean, then it's
going to be a quarterback. People going to put a quarterback there.
Yeah, because it's like I could take out a regular flex and put in a super flex, but it's like, oh man, I don't know what type of roster you're going to get with that.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you right now. So this is my biggest fear. The person who gets 2 QBs gets Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes. Now I want to fight. I was about to say that is me. Like, let me get 9th in that league. And because then because it goes like it's a snake, right? It's a snake. Yeah, it's a snake draft.
Yeah,
now
dog.
You got Patrick.
Dog, let Joe Burrow.
Let's give him one. No, we give him one. That pure thought just made me mad. Hey, yo, dog, I'm not.
Hey, yo, let Aaron Rodgers and Joe Burrow fall to me. I'll take that.
Somebody out here would get Justin Herbert and Patrick Mahomes, and now I really got to want to fight you because dog, that's like 60 touchdown passes off rip.
Yep.
Gator J says this is the last fantasy thing we're gonna get in because we got a lot to talk about people. Gator J says with 10 teams, SF would be a lot easier than with a 12 team.
A super flex.
Because he's saying with 10 teams, we'd have a bigger pool for
everyone could get at least 2 elite or above average quarterbacks. You would get someone would end up with like Joe Burrow and Baker Mayfield, and then that's just tough.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't know. I gotta think of maybe not this first year. I'm gonna say this, maybe not this first year. As a league, here I go. I'm gonna put my commissioner hat back on. Okay. As a league, we can revisit this next off season, and if enough people feel strongly, we'll put it to a vote, and if it passes.
We got to get you a commissioner hat or like a commissioner shirt.
Yes, please.
So, D, what are we talking about tonight?
Excuse me, I'm sorry. Yes, by the way, a commissioner hat or shirt would be very needed so people can see. Anyway, today we're talking about KD and the Nets. KD and the Nets. We're starting off with KD and the Nets. We're going to get a little bit into the updated status of where we are with Deshaun Watson, because I'm pretty sure that Roger Goodell had a statement today that I said, yo, that is words to put on somebody. We're going to finish it out then with a little AFC East preview. And then, of course, we'll end it out with our quick shoot 'em outro. So let's start at the top talking about the Brooklyn Nets and Kevin Durant. So it was reported earlier this week that Kevin Durant and the Nets owner Joe Tsai, and apologies, Mr. Tsai, if I mispronounced your name, they met about the future of the team. And reportedly, Kevin Durant made it clear it was either the front office and the head coaching or it's KD. One of us got to go. And Tsai came out and basically kind of said, hey, sticking with my front office, I'm sticking with my head coach. So I'm going to ask you, Danny, what are your thoughts on where we stand now with the Brooklyn Nets and Kevin Durant?
My first question to Kevin would be, you handpicked Steve Nash from Golden State because that was your man's. That was your boy. And now we hear you saying he trash and that he deserves to be fired. How quickly things can change in the world of basketball. I mean, if I'm the Nets, I call his bluff. Like this is more than basketball right now. This is the owners trying to take power back from players. Kevin Durant has 4 years on his contract. I think we all know he's upset that Kyrie didn't get a long-term deal. That's his friend. But I think we're going to see Mark Tsai kind of lead the charge in taking power back from players, because players have been in the league, right? Power belongs to the players. I think owners are tired of that, and I think this is more so related to, you're not going to bully me to fire my GM and my head coach, and you have 4 years under contract. It was okay. They were the head, like when you signed the contract, it was cool that they were the coach and GM. Now that you signed, now you want to raise hell, which, by the way, always take the money, kids. Like, Zion signed the contract, and then next year he's going to demand a trade. Always take the money. Get ugly later. Get your money. Always first and foremost. But yeah, this is definitely more so owners trying to take power back from the players.
So my thoughts here are, I'm agreeing with you. I want to dive into your point on the owners taking power back, because I think what we're seeing here is, in the NBA particularly, because NFL, we know where the power lays. In the NBA specifically, I think when you see the Ben Simmons situation that Brooklyn kind of had to go through, when you see the James Harden situation that Brooklyn had to go through, when you remember how the Brooklyn Nets got hosed by the Boston Celtics and Danny Ainge, and then you see Danny Ainge go out here and essentially hose the Minnesota Timberwolves for Rudy Gobert, at some point, Joe Tsai has to look at his organization and be like, enough is enough, guys.
Yep.
Like, enough is enough. It just comes at a point where it comes at bad timing. Because I think if you look at what KD's grievances are, it's like, yo, we gave our man Steve Nash a chance. 2 years. First year we were a foot on the line away for beating the eventual NBA champ. So what they were probably thinking is, yo, we probably weren't even coached the best, and we almost beat the NBA champion. So then when they decided to run it back last year, they got smoked by the team that made the finals. So that's 2 times the teams that have beaten the Brooklyn Nets have went on to the NBA finals. And Kevin Durant is looking at this and saying, yo, I feel like if we had better coaching who really knew lineups, personnel, so on and so forth, we may be better. I know I handpicked him, but I was wrong. Is there a way to figure this out? And I think Joe Tsai, Sean Marks, because I feel like Sean Marks is an extension of Steve Nash. Joe Tsai is looking at this like, yo, man, you may be right, but if I do this, how does it look on the outside? Right. Kevin, you're right. We stink. This guy couldn't coach 5 dead people out there to shoot baskets. We can't do this, Kevin. And it's a hard situation. And it's like, yo, like Joe Tsai's person, they're like, yo, KD has hosed me. Had to take this trade for Ben Simmons. I've already been hosed before. Like, Hey, yo, dog, Katie, you made me sign DeAndre Jordan. That guy couldn't jump.
You made me sign DeAndre Jordan.
And we put Nicholas Claxton on the bench and shipped Jared Allen out of here. And you told me to sign DeAndre Jordan. Hey, Katie, I hear you, dog. I'm gonna need you to sit down. I'm telling you, I think that's how that conversation went. And Katie was probably like, "Yeah, but we talking about now."
We talking about now. I agree with you. You lose and you lose, right? Like you can't give Kevin Durant
Both
that
sides
much
will
power.
not be happy, and that's good business, people. Y'all didn't know? Good business when both sides is equally unhappy. I want everyone to know. So on the business side of things, this is gonna have to work out.
Yeah, like what do you do if you're Steve Nash, right? Like he went to the owner, said you ain't shit, and then told it to the media. Like, what does Steve Nash do, right? Is this one of the things where Steve Nash was like, well, fine, I'll just quit. I'll go back to Golden State and win championships with Steph on that coaching staff. Like, is that a way out? Like if Steve Nash like resigns, like he's like, you know what? I'm out of
So late
here.
in the game now, like, yeah, if he resigns right now you're fucking over the Brooklyn Nets in like a whole different way. And like now they got to put together a staff and new staff. It's like that's why I think another reason why I think Josiah wants to stay on the side of the front office and the head coach. Yo, KD, dog, it's August 9th. Really? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
Training camp is in a month.
Like KD, like I know this is another part of that conversation. KD, if I listen to you now and I fire this dude, how quickly do you think I can hire someone into this situation?
Yep.
And they put together a staff in a month.
What coach worth their weight's going to be like, you know what? I want all this dysfunction. And I want to, and Ben Simmons might not even play.
And Josiah, I don't think Josiah wants to lose. I'm pretty sure he told him, yo, this year, maybe not. Maybe not. Let's run this back again. And if this is really as bad as you and Kyrie really think it is, then a year from now, I think they revisit the situation fully. I honestly, the more I'm talking this out with you, honestly, and this goes to our next question. What realistic trades at this point in time, after you've seen the Rudy Gobert deal, can you even get for Kevin Durant? I mean you got to ask for someone. You got to ask for half of someone's franchise. You got to ask for a partial revenue from season ticket holders, and you might have to ask them for a dinner date with their wife.
Whoa. Well, someone might, if it means winning a ring, someone might do that. I think the only two teams that we can talk about are Boston and Toronto. Like they have the assets to give Brooklyn what they want and still have a team that can compete. Like Boston can build around Jalen.
Everyone's other favorite trade team, because the team I'm about to name is not the Lakers, by the way. This is the team that everyone says, watch out for them in a trade, and they'd never be anywhere close. The Miami Heat.
Yeah, Miami has nothing.
Fam,
like you got to get rid of Ben Simmons first.
And I'm gonna let y'all Heat fans know y'all close to becoming the second coming of the New York Knicks and the third coming of the Los Angeles Lakers, where if there's just anyone who wants to be traded, they're just gonna throw you out there. They're just gonna put your name to it just because. Y'all are really, really close. The Lakers are the king. The Lakers are the king.
Oh, that's because y'all are the Lakers, though, right? That comes with merit because y'all are the Lakers and stars want to go to the LA.
They'd be like, "Hey, yo, dog, the grandfather of the Utah Jazz's the ball boy wants to be traded. The sources are telling me he's linked to maybe the Los Angeles Lakers. Hey, yo, dog, who told you that? What sources told you that? Now Skip Bayless and
not Skip.
Now Skip Bayless and Steve Nash talking about some. Hey, LeBron on this team with this player would be incredible. I think they could win it. Stop it. Kyle says, would KD want to play in Toronto after some Super Raptors fans shared his Achilles injuries during the NBA Finals? I don't think so.
I think he would.
No, on what? Not a 4-year rental. This ain't Kawhi. He not looking over that. Not a 4-year rental. Boston. I think KD still remembers how Boston did Isaiah Thomas. I don't think he'd want to go there.
I mean, but he doesn't have a say, does he? It's not like he has a no trade clause, does he?
Well,
I don't think. I mean, he gets a say, right?
But you're not just trading. You're not trading Kevin Durant just off the rip. You gonna let KD know, and I do. Oh boy, because I'll tell you what, you don't want the PR coming out there that you traded Kevin Durant and didn't even let him know.
Who cares? If I was Brooklyn, I wouldn't care.
Okay.
And Gator, he can't go to the Suns because DeAndre Ayton signed the extension. DeAndre Ayton can't be traded until like January 15th or something like that. So he can't go to Phoenix just yet.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll see. It's gonna be interesting. I think it's gonna be an interesting couple of weeks.
It's gonna be funny.
Let's shift this over to the NFL. So last week we were on this podcast reported that Deshaun Watson had been suspended 6 games for violating the NFL's personal conduct policy. Remember Sue L. Robinson rule. So days after it was announced, the NFL would go on to appeal this decision, and they are looking to give Deshaun Watson significantly more time in the range of 1 full year. Roger Goodell has already appointed an arbitrator. He came out today and basically said, yo, this dude needs to be suspended because his actions were predatory. I need y'all to really hear the adjectives my man's using to describe this man. He didn't say it about Ben Roethlisberger.
Nope.
He called this man predatory and said, we need to suspend this man for a year. Danny, I'm going to let you go first. What do you think of where we stand on the saga right now?
So one thing to remember, Sue L. Robertson said something similar, right? Like, I think that Deshaun was predatory and that he sexually assaulted these women. That's what she said, right? And she gave him 6 games because the NFL is so bad at punishing crimes against, violence against women. She's like, y'all so trash. I'm going to go on with the trash and give him 6 games. So the judge thinks he did it too. I think I think John is who's John? I think Roger is trying to reset the market, so to speak, in regards to how he treats crimes against women, and Deshaun is going to be his sacrificial lamb. And I think Adam said in a perfect world, Roger would spend him indefinitely, and then Deshaun would have to come to him every offseason and be like we did with Josh Gordon, like, come talk to me in February. What have you done what treatment have you done? Okay, cool. You're reinstated. I don't think he's going to get that. I think Deshaun is going to get a year. I think if you're Roger, right? Like the thing that comes to mind is there's got to be a smoking gun somewhere. Like the Ray Rice thing, they gave him 2 or 3 games, and then TMZ gets the video of him hitting his wife in the elevator, and that just can't happen again. There is a smoking gun somewhere that the NFL either knows about or they don't know about, and they don't want it to come out after they made an official ruling, because that cannot happen again. I think there is a smoking gun out there you don't do that to 20 plus women and somebody ain't got nothing. There's got to be a smoking gun somewhere, and Roger's preparing for that.
I think the smoking gun that you're talking about is his actual contract. I think that.
Yeah, that's definitely a part of it.
So, how do I say this? Sometimes I see why rich people don't want you to know how much money they really make. Because when you know a value and you put a value to it, changes everything. Better to speculate, harder to fake real numbers. Start off by saying that. When the contract came out, when the details came out about Deshaun Watson's contract, it was what? Fully guaranteed those dollars.
Yep.
And it came out, you sneaky bastard at ESPN, how they structured this deal. Bands is making $1 million this year, maybe a little bit more. Everything is back loaded, essentially starting after this year.
Yep.
Deshaun's cool with the 6 games because when you're spending 6 games, they only take the money from the year that you would have your salary that year.
Yep.
So this year, Deshaun Watson's making $1 million. 6 games, yo, please. $1 million, please. Like, hey, yo, dog, I will take that 6 games. I'll take 10 games, which is ultimately what I think they're about to come out to. I think 10 games is going to be the number.
Yep.
I think Roger Goodell got wind of that. I think the NFL got wind of that, and it was like, okay, yes, he's been found not guilty in the courts, so on and so forth, but this is wrong. And if we let him sit these 6 games, he's not going to feel the punishment that we think he should feel, even though his argument is that I've been suspended for a year already. And like these 6 games in addition would make this that's
23 games.
23 games that I've missed and have not been paid for.
No, he got paid last year. He got paid
Okay,
last
so
year.
6 games this year. 23 games I would have missed. 6 games this year. 16 games this year, or 6 games this year haven't been paid for. I can live with that. Let's move on. That's why I think Deshaun Watson and the Browns were like, yeah, we'll take this punishment. Fuck out of here. And Roger Goodell said, no. I've seen the way this contract is. I'm gonna tell you right now, what Roger Goodell wants, like you said, is to suspend him indefinitely, come back next offseason, keep him suspended indefinitely, so then he loses all the money for next year, bring him back the following year, which would be 24. Deshaun's like, no, I'm making this money, dog. I'm making this money. That's the real fight here. I think I don't even think there's a smoking gun, dog. Because I feel like if there's a smoking gun, it would have been shown in court. He would have been on his way. Like even like right, they couldn't criminally charge him, right?
They can't. Well, see, when I say, because remember at the very beginning, like there was footage that leaked of him in court, like doing his deposition, and it sounded like some real spicy shit. Like I'm talking about if someone gets their hands on his deposition, kind of like with Bill Cosby, right? Like Bill Cosby, like, yeah, I drugged those women, but under oath, and we're gonna seal this up and we're gonna throw it in the trash forever. Like that. When I say smoking gun, I'm not saying like a woman comes with a message of Deshaun saying, "I'm sorry for doing that to you." That was not my intent. I'm talking about someone getting their hands on these court documents and unzipping them and letting us read the deposition. Like, what did he say under oath?
No. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's nasty. We definitely shouldn't get that, but it's like, okay, I'm gonna say this. That only looks bad for the NFL if this information. This is gonna sound crazy. If this information comes out after his punishment and after his current contract ends. That makes sense. Let's just say he ends up getting 10 games, comes back, finishes out the next 4 years. You don't hear nothing. We hear something about 8 years from now, right? Deshaun's on the back end of his career. He's probably maybe he's already retired. Who knows? This comes out, he's already out the league, chilling, retired, already got his money. Who does that come back? Who does that come back to look worse on? The dude who's already got his money chilling, or the NFL who had a chance to do something, and that's why I think they want to, you know what I'm saying, want to punish him early because it just kind of looks worse if you don't do like to what you said. But at the same time, you see Deshaun Watson's point is like, yo, the court did X, Y, and Z. Y'all don't even have a history of suspending people this long for these type of actions. Like, this is unjust. And that's where I think you get the back and forth. And that is how I think you land at 10 games. Because I think if you're an arbitrator, like the arbitrator is going to say, well, we got to compare this based off of previous actions. And the NFL is going to say, these actions are unlike anything else. Where do we get in the middle? Well, we can't go to the extreme because the extreme is the extreme. He's already been sitting out for a year. We gave him 6 games, tacking on another month, 10 games. That's where I think they end up.
I think that's a sweep I do. I will say, though, that this comes back to, again, in the old CBA, Roger Goodell was judge, jury, and executioner. This CBA, a third-party arbitrator, which is Judge Sue L. Robinson in this case, can come in, be a third party that's independent, mediate. But the thing is, if Roger doesn't like what the judge does, he still has the power to appeal it, and now he's judge, jury, and executioner again, right? So,
there's no way the next CBA is going to allow this shit, dog.
I mean, but the thing is, the players lose every single time.
Have to look into this and be like, no, like there has to be an arbitrator here, because because if that's the case, like, because if that's the case, why the fuck? What's the point of any of the rules of Roger Goodell to just come in and say, yo, dog, honestly, I don't fuck this dude, yo, dog. Give him 10 games. I don't like the way he talks. I don't like the way he talks to me, dog. Give him 10 games.
The thing about the CBA is, though, when it comes to lockouts, players always lose because there's one thing to have millionaire money. It's another thing to have billionaire money. Like, it's easier for 32 billionaires to hold out compared to 700,000 in millionaires, right? The players will always lose unless they start some sort of escrow fund, which that means people don't have to give up their money to fund other people's future. That's not going to happen. So this is going to get to, like, Roger Goodell's going to continue to have ultimate power because he's going to win any lockout or any CBA negotiation.
We'll see. We'll see how it plays out. People, I think at the end of the day, one thing we can all agree on is that we don't know what the fuck is going on in this case. And until until this arbitrator kind of comes out, we figure out what's going to happen. We really don't know. But I'm tell you right now. Actually, no. This is what I'll say. No matter the punishment, I'm going to say, let's put it to bed, please. Like at this point, I don't care. But if Deshaun Watson, you're suspended for some years.
Oh, then he's going to sue in federal court, right? Like I think Deshaun's team is like, if they come back with 10 to 12 games, cool. If they come back anything higher than that, we taking this to federal court, and we'll see you there, Roger.
Oh my God, yo! And the thing is, in federal court, I don't think the NFL wants. I don't think the NFL wants it to go to federal court, which is why that's why I'm thinking 10 games. Because I think if it goes to the federal court, I think a judge can look at.
I don't know if it's federal court. Does that mean Deshaun has to like testify? Like, all right, Deshaun, get on the stand and told us what you did in your deposition. Like, let's talk about it. Like, you want to go here, my man? Let's talk about it.
Oh God! Please end this saga forever. Are you like? I know there's a lot of real victims out here, and I want to please respect all the victims. Shout out, I want to give my sincerest condolences to everyone who's been affected by the situation. But I would like the situation to end. Like it's at a point now where I just let's play football, please. Let's talk about the AFC East. How about the AFC East?
Let's talk about the AFC East.
So this week, people, we're continuing our journey, previewing the divisions before we get to the season opener. So this week we're looking at the AFC East. So that consists of the Bills, the Jets, the Patriots, and the Dolphins. So, Danny, I'm going to ask you, each team's record.
Yep.
Who do you think the division winner will be? Biggest storylines? Who do you think the breakout player and the division MVP is? And any other sauce that you may want to throw in there, go ahead. Let's start with division winners and division records. The floor is yours.
All right, let's go. We always do worst to best, last to first, and we do their overall ranking in the entire AFC. So the division and then where they landed in the NFC. I think the AFC is going to be extremely top heavy. You might laugh at these records, but I promise you there's some thought behind this. At 3-14, 2-4 in the division, this is no shock. The New York Jets. I'll believe it when I see it. I don't care how many throws Zach Wilson makes in practice. I don't care how cool he looks in the green and white scrimmage. When I saw him last year, he looks suspect. This is the big one for me. 4-13, 1-5 in the division, the New England Patriots. It is time to put Bill Belichick in the light. He has Matt Patricia calling plays. We're going to put Bill Belichick in the light this year, baby. Put him in the sun.
He's got Matt Patricia calling what?
Offensive plays. Matt Patricia is calling offensive plays. He is in Mac Jones' helmet.
No.
I need to look. No, look that joint up.
Nah.
Matt Patricia is in Mac Jones' ear.
No.
Well, we have time.
No.
Why you do that? I'm gonna. Gator. Someone talked about Alvin Kamara. Alvin Kamara punched a man in the face in Vegas. That boy gonna be fine. Like Kamara gonna be fine. Look it up.
What did he do to get punched in the face?
Yeah. Like, what did he do? I think he probably said something slick. Like, NFL needs to think about that too. You know, while you look this up. Like, if someone goes out and taunts a player and they get punched in the face, I think you should look the other way. Especially if a slur was involved. Like, you should be able to punch people in the face. Look it up. Matt Patricia is in Mac Jones' ear.
He is the senior football advisor / offensive line coach. Joe Judge is the offensive assistant quarterbacks coach. I think that's who you may have been thinking of.
Even worse. That doesn't give me any comfort. He was in Daniel Jones here last year.
It's funny because I really thought Joe Judge was a special teams coach.
He was. Bill Belichick has not named an offensive coordinator. And if I remember correctly, I remember reading last week that Matt Patricia is in Mac Jones' ear. Dog. But it is going, get ready for baseball.
So I guess my thought would be like if it's because maybe I don't know.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
And he coaches the offensive line, then maybe he is in his ear from like a protection standpoint. I don't know. Honestly, I don't even want to know.
I don't care. The Patriots, this is going to get real spooky in Boston, and the Patriots will finish 13th in the AFC, and the Jets will finish 14th in the AFC. At 11-6 with the 5-1 record, finishing 9th in the AFC, meaning the first team out of the playoffs, the Miami Dolphins. That offense is too explosive, I know Tua, we have questions, but dog, throw it to the guys who are fast. That's it. Like it is a very, very easy concept. Throw it to the guys who are fast. And if you can't get it that far, I promise you Gesicki is open down the seam or he is somewhere in the zone by himself because everyone's paying attention to Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. That is a very simple concept. And for me, the division champs, 14-3, 4-2 in the division, second in the AFC. I've been disrespecting Josh Allen for 3 years. We are here. I am on the Josh Allen bandwagon. It is time, Josh Allen. The Buffalo Bills, 14-3, 4-2 in the division, second in the AFC.
Okay, so I'm gonna let y'all know right now. I think I'm gonna get some comments very similar to last week's predictions.
You
People
can't
have
get
been
any
on my
worse.
head about this Giants take for a while. Okay,
Yeah, you ain't getting over that. You can't beat
okay.
that. You can't
Y'all,
beat that Giants
y'all,
take. That Giants take
too
was
many people
terrible.
always focus on the previous year's teams, and I think I take other things into consideration.
Where did the Giants get better? Thibodeau and a healthy Saquon. Where else did they get better?
They got better in a lot of positions.
Where?
They weren't bad. They weren't, and they also weren't bad at certain positions. They weren't bad at the receiver position. They couldn't stay healthy, and they couldn't accurately put an offense out there that got their playmakers the ball. We're talking about the AFC East. Anyway, so we're talking about the AFC East. Let's start from the bottom. So I have finishing 10th in the AFC with a record of 8-7, 3-3 in division. I have the New York Jets.
They throw a parade if that happens.
First off, is that right? Is that the accurate number?
8-9, yeah, 8-9-17.
Did I say? I said 8-7.
Oh, you did say 8-7. It'll be 8-9.
8-9 is what I mean. Then 8-9 is what I mean. 8-9. 8-9. I have the New York Football Jets. I think they're going to finish right around 10th in the AFC. I'm going to let y'all know right now. I think this team is going to take strides. I think you are going to see it. They're going to give a lot of teams a good game for no reason because this team is going to be better. They're going to lose a lot of those games because maybe they don't have enough experience. But I think they're going to be very competitive. I think the Jets are where the Bengals were maybe 2 years ago.
Okay.
In my eyes. Next at 9-7 and also 3-3 in the division, finishing 9th and right outside the playoff picture. Drum roll. I have the Buffalo Bills. I'm going to be completely honest with you. Guys, I think when you have that type of high expectations, you're playing a first place schedule, and you know that you are going to get everyone's best game every week because everyone knows you're good. I think you're bound to lose 2 or 3 games just off of that. Okay. I think you're going to lose 1 to 2 trap games just off of that. And you always have to account for 1 or 2 of your divisional opponents just giving you a tough game just because. And I think because of that, I have them being 9-8. 9-8. I said, excuse me, I'm all off, and I have it right here in front of me. 9-8, 3-3 in division. I think what people fail to realize is that when you become a good team, when you win a division, you put together a roster, and that roster now wins the division, has to go on and play that first place divisional record. It's the divisional schedule. It's not what you think. So these teams like the Patriots or the Packers that just always win the division, that's because they just know what the fuck to do. They're not a built teams, and they build to win their division. That's why they always win their division. But you see why a lot of these divisions, is very hard for to have back-to-back winners. That's why people just think I'm crazy. Y'all thought shit was sweet. Why the Patriots is happy every year they won their division when Tom was there? Every year they just won their division. People thought easy division. No, they built their team to win their division. Anyway, back to my soliloquy. At 10-7 and 2-4 in the division, finishing 5th in the AFC and making the playoffs, I have the New England Patriots. I need y'all to know good coaching is good coaching. Good coaching will win you games in the NFL. Good coaching will win you games when you have bad players out there. Not bad. Not as good not as talented players. I think it's a well-coached team. I think they're going to remember how they got their asses kicked in the wild card round, and I think Daniel Jones and parts of this New England Patriots offense and defense take the step. They already had a really good defense. I think their offense takes a step. I like 10 games. I think they're going to be really stinky in their division. At 10-7 also, but having a 4-2 divisional record, I have the Miami Dolphins. This is why. You cannot coach speed. There's no game plan for speed. These guys have 2 of maybe the top 10 fastest players in the league on one team. Maybe 3 if you count Raheem Mostert, because I believe he's also on that roster. There's a lot of speed on this team. There's a lot of good football players, and that is hard to guard, people. I'm going to let y'all know right now. If you draft Tua Tagovailoa in your fantasy draft, really consider starting him week 1. Because I'm going to tell you right now, it's week 1. It's going to be hot. And there's no one knows how to guard these two speed demons right now. 10-7. They're going to win games just off the fact that no one can really cover Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. You got to pick your poison. They're going to win 2 or 3 games just off of that. I'm letting y'all know right now, the Dolphins are going to take this step, win this division.
Okay. 10-7. I mean, I get your point about the Bills, and I don't disagree with that. It is hard to be the hunted. I guess my question, like for the Patriots, have the most expensive receiving core in the NFL, and you can't give me 3 receivers or tight end on that team. You got Nelson Aguilar, Hunter Henry, Devontae Parker. That's a lot of money for a bunch of dudes who bounced around the league.
But I would say some of the Patriots skill position players in the past, I think they've had some history just staying healthy, i.e. N'Keal Harry, Jacoby Myers. They've had good skill position players, just kind of hard to keep them healthy ever since
they've had Tom Brady.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They've had good skill ever since Tom left. They've obviously needed the talent of their skill position players to carry the talent of their quarterback.
Yes.
Their quarterback play. Now I think they're in a position where they clearly know Mac Jones is their guy. Now, how do we ascend the skill position players at the same rate that Mac Jones is improving? And it's hard because Bill's seeing what these receivers out here is making, and he's saying, "Ayo, dog." We got to I think in Bill's eyes, the identity of the team is defense. You just need an offense to just not fuck up.
The crazy thing,
not everyone, and so I think why they invested so much money into their receiving core is we know we're not going to get one super solid wide receivers and a bunch of mid ranges and have a quarterback who has the one good connection and a bunch of other decent.
But none of their receivers are good.
Devontae Parker is not bad. When healthy, he has been good. He's just not always healthy. Hunter Henry's not bad. When healthy, he's good. Who's the other one? Nelson Aguilar. Bad. He had 2 years ago. He had a really good season for the Raiders.
He had a good season in Philly when they won the Super Bowl. He hasn't been good since.
He had a good season with the Raiders a couple years ago. Yes, he did. That's how he got paid by the Patriots. He had a good season with the Raiders.
He got paid by the Patriots because Bill is a terrible general manager.
No, I'm telling you, got paid by the Patriots. John Smith, another one, I think plays for the Patriots as well. He had a good season with the Raiders, and the Patriots paid him off that season.
I believe you. I'm just looking up his stats right now to see. Let's see.
While you do that, what do you think will be the biggest storyline from this division?
I had 3. The first one is, can Stephon Diggs finally take the mantle as the best wide receiver in the NFL? He's always flirted with it, but he's never been considered the best wide receiver, right? He's always 2 or 3 or 5, but he's never no one's hands down Stephon Diggs is the best receiver in the NFL. Can he do that this year? It's usually Devontae Adams.
That is, hey, dog, when you're playing at the same time Devontae Adams and DeAndre Hopkins is playing wide.
That's what I'm saying, right? He's always been third fiddle to those two. Can he do it?
And before that, he was in the league when Julio Jones was in the league.
Oh, I know.
So, it's tough.
And then the second one is Tua's arm big enough to keep up with Jalen and Tariq? Because you just can't throw bubble screens. Yeah, it's a pause. Can't throw bubble screens and slants all day. You're going to have to air it out and throw the deep ball. So can Tua do it consistently? And then the third is Von Miller the missing piece? for Buffalo to win a Super Bowl. That's all I was gonna like.
Okay, so my biggest storylines. Wow, yo, y'all gonna stop playing with Bill's name, man. It's just
Oh, I'm not.
My biggest storylines. I think similar to you on the Tua Tagovailoa point. I think my biggest storyline would be: is this the year the Dolphins really take the step? Right, like you got the quarterback, you got the receivers, you got the offense, you got the offensive coordinator, and the guy from San Francisco is now the head coach. Like, can you guys start putting some things together? Like, you guys, you kind of always flirt with having a competitive team. Can you guys finally take the step to put it together? And then for the Bills and the Patriots, who gets left out? Like, who gets left out? Because I don't think this team puts 3 teams in the playoffs.
Okay.
So who joins? Excuse me, I'm so sorry. Who joins the Dolphins, in my opinion, out of the Patriots and the Bills into the postseason? For breakout player, I don't know if this is considered a breakout player because he's always been good. Excuse me, man, not hiccups. He's always been a good player, but I guess this is a new team. Tyreek Hill. Yo, if you can be a great wide receiver with Patrick Mahomes throwing you the football, and you turn around and be a great wide receiver with, excuse me, I'm so sorry, with Tua throwing you the football, we gotta start putting you. Oh man,
them hiccups got you.
Fucking me up in the chokehold. But if you can be a good wide receiver with Tua Tagovailoa throwing you the football, feels like we got to put more respect on Tyreek's name if he has another great season, right?
Yeah, then maybe
because
he's
like
the best
similar to
receiver
your
in the
conversation,
NFL.
like they got to start. Like if you're a good quarterback with Tua throwing you the ball in a different offensive system, now we got to think of you as like one of the top 2, 3, 4 best wide receivers.
Yeah.
Even though it's funny because a lot of people. Excuse me, by the way, I'm so sorry. A lot of people a lot of people say Tyreek Hill is like one of the hardest receivers to guard, but they don't ever put him in the conversation for best receiver in the league.
Yeah, I'm with you. Gator, I'm with you. My breakout player, the Jets are going to be terrible, but Breece Hall is going to be really good at football. Breece Hall is my breakout player. It's easy for running backs to make the transition to the NFL compared to most positions.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
How do you think this is going to be how do you think the breakout player is going to be on a team that stinks? How would you break out?
There are plenty of good players on teams that stink.
But no, my question. Okay, so you're not addressing my question. I'm saying the term breakout means your performance broke out and helped your team, like help lift your team.
I mean, so let's talk about that, right? Saquon Barkley as a rookie was amazing. Giants was still terrible.
He wasn't a breakthrough player. He was just
he rushed for 1,000 yards his rookie year. How many times has Christian McCaffrey like been the best player on that Panthers team and put up numbers and they suck? Like you can be a good player. Like a breakout player means someone who's going to get noticed and put up numbers. Like Breece Hall can put up numbers.
But I'm saying what you've noticed, what you've just mentioned are 2 offensive juggernauts, not breakthrough players. Breakout players. Breakout players, in my opinion, are players who their performances like not only break them out of the average bucket, but lift their team to victory. That's the breaking out. I don't know. It's hard for me to see this if he. Oh my gosh, if he's going to be this good, Breece Hall. No way. Like he should win the Jets at least one or two games.
Yeah, and they're 3-14. That's right on par.
Division MVP. Who you got?
I don't think he's going to become the best receiver in the NFL, but I got Stephon Diggs. I don't know why I'm so high on Stephon this year. Like I really want to see Diggs get his. I'm going with Stephon Diggs.
Okay. Honestly, I think my division MVP might actually end up being Josh Allen.
Okay. How can the division MVP not make the playoffs?
I got you. The Bills are going to be in hell. And Josh Allen's going to I think Josh Allen's going to end the year on a Aaron Rodgers run the table type run. And they're going to And when I say they're going to barely miss out, like barely, like they're probably going to win their last game of the season and be in a position to make it, and the team they need to lose ends up winning.
I got you. Okay.
Like, but they're gonna. I can definitely see the Bills being in a position where like they start the first half of the season off rough, catch steam, be on fire, and we get to the end of the season, everyone's like, "Yo, if that team makes the playoffs, it's up for everybody. Nobody's safe, and they're not gonna make the playoffs." Usually, like there's like we usually have that one team. Oh my goodness, audience. I'm so sorry. This is not the audio adventure that I want the people to hear. You're just hearing me hiccup. My apologies. Yo, anything else in the AFC East?
Kind of want to make a bet. Does the Dolphins owner, can he keep his text to himself and not tamper with anyone this season? Because the past 2 years he's been flirting with Tom Brady and Sean Payton, and now he's suspended 6 games. Can Mr. Ross go through one season without tampering?
No.
I agree. He gonna talk to somebody.
But I will say this. Stephen Ross, you will not be the only owner who gets in trouble.
Hell no. That's why his punishment was so light. Like I see people complaining about his punishment and it sends the wrong message. Like the owner's probably like, Roger, know your audience. Remember who signed your check, my friend.
It was like, yo, you better be light on that fucking fine too, Roger. You better not.
Hey, Roger.
Yo, I feel like being threatened by a billionaire is different. Like, yeah.
Dog, like, can you imagine Jerry Jones threatening you?
Oh, yo, I'm a
he gonna call you, Jerry gonna call you boy.
First off, he gonna call you boy, broke, and in a billionaire way, he gonna let you know, yo, say something I don't like. Someone gonna meet you about it.
Yeah. You know what he'll do? He'll bring in, this is my bodyguard, Steve. Steve gonna come in with that 45 on his hip. And he says, Steve protects me from all kinds of danger. And that's it. That's it.
Man, let me tell you something. What would you do if Jerry Jones he pressed you like that?
What can you do? Man walk up to you with a Desert Eagle on his hip or a 45, and Jerry's like, oh yeah, he protect me from stuff. Like, what am I gonna do? I can't do nothing right then. I might try to assassinate him in the parking lot down the line, but I ain't gonna do nothing then.
So what would you do if an NBA player did you the way DeJounte Murray was trying to do Paolo Banchero in the Seattle program? Like
I keep seeing like media heads who have played professional basketball. They're saying stuff like, oh, this is just, the OG challenging the young blood. No, he was mad. Like there's a difference between talking about someone's game and what DeJounte is calling him out as a human being.
Coming after his personal character. Like, hey yo, dog.
Yeah, like he's coming at him like a man.
You was young boy, yo. I remember you was young boy, and now you number one. You really think you the shit? Nah, fuck all that. Fuck all this shit. And I'm like, oh.
Like yeah, it's like one thing to talk about someone's game, like doing the too small, but DeJounte getting real spicy talking about Banchero's like as a man. Like this, I don't know, like this might be something we don't know nothing about that's been brewing underneath the surface. But
either that, and don't kill me when I say this, people.
Here we go.
A beautiful woman might be involved.
Absolutely. Oh, it's always listen, dog. Lust has started many wars. Many. Dog, the Old Testament ain't nothing but lust.
What did the Old Testament have to say about the drug ayahuasca that my man Aaron Rodgers was using?
They probably took it. Listen, man.
The NFL said Rodgers was okay to use it, and I saw it, and I was like, I said, interesting. Why did y'all say that? And I think I know why.
Go ahead.
They gonna ban this drug next year.
Yep.
They gonna ban this drug next year. Yep. So let's just come out and say he good. He good this year. They sent him a note on the side. Yo, dog.
Don't you say that shit up again.
Hey, dog. Do you realize we had to suspend Calvin Ridley for putting in bets? You over here stop fucking us up. That's what they be saying, dog.
Yeah, Roger. Shut the fuck
up. Shut the hell up. No, we in here.
It's bad enough.
Immediately like, hey, no, what is this? ain't even got this over here.
Like, it's bad enough you on Pat McAfee show spreading a bunch of bullshit. Now you out here telling the streets, man, like, dog, just go play football, please.
I almost guarantee next off season that drug will be banned.
That drug
will be banned. Oh,
yes.
Man. Stay in the realm of football. Let's switch to college football, right? So there was a assistant head coach at the University of Oklahoma who read a racial slur out multiple times, leading him to being fired. When I saw this, I said, well, damn, what could he have been saying to make them people so mad? So then I thought about it. I said, hey, yo. So he picked up something and read it. So my mind went two places. Either he was reading a message thread between a dude and like two black people, obviously, because that's probably what was going on. Or he was reading some song lyrics. And so I thought about it and I said, well, man, what song lyrics might get us to this? My man had to have been bumping that All Gold Everything by Trinidad James. Yes. He was singing the hook.
Like, for me, I am with you. Like, they were probably listening to a song during the meeting, and he said, pull up them lyrics. This what you listening to?
Oh, man. Now, he was in the team meeting room, and they said, hey, yo, coach, we got dreams and nightmares on. Turn up.
You think he was out here quoting Meek Mill? That's a hell of a way to go out. Listen, man. And then his statement was like, I didn't even realize. Like, dog, you don't realize you said that word multiple times? So how many times do you say it outside the facility?
Nah, he was in there. He was in there singing that new Kendrick album. I know. He was singing that new Kendrick album. He heard Auntie Diaries off that new Kendrick album. My auntie's man now. No, don't let me find out, dog. Don't let me find out someone played Auntie Diaries and you read them out loud.
He did. Like, I just need to, like, I hope whenever whoever was in on this graduates, I hope they come back and like, oh, this is what really happened. This is the lyrics that he was reading. Because I'm with you. Like, it had to be song lyrics.
Because when you think about it, it's like Joe Mixon, I immediately read his statement. Joe Mixon comes out and puts a statement out and it's like, yo, this guy coached me. He's a great man. And I want to reiterate the fact he is the farthest thing from a racist you could ever imagine. I said, you know what? I don't believe he's a racist because throwing that racist tab on everyone, I think is kind of corny now. I do think to what we're talking about. Hey man, he was singing the song. So this is a message to all my Caucasian brothers and sisters out here. If you're at a concert, a kickback, if you're at any public event where hip hop and R&B is being played, and there are other human beings in the arena or in the vicinity, just don't say it.
Don't say it.
In the privacy of your own home, say whatever you want to say.
But you do anyway.
Exactly. But when you're outside, certain words, just beep over it.
Just beep over it.
Hit the finger guns over it. Hold on, wait a minute. Y'all thought I was finished? When I bought that Aston Martin, y'all thought it was rented. Easy money. You see what I'm saying? What's finger guns?
Easy. It's very easy.
Finger guns.
Finger guns.
Finger guns to hit your two-step or maybe here's another one. When that word come on and you know you're not supposed to say it, two-step early so that way you two-stepping and dancing when that word said. So people can't even, you know what I'm saying? You moving. They can't even tell if you win or. Hey, I'm just trying to help my people out here.
You're just trying to help
the easiest thing would be just never to say it, but if you are going to say it, just be prepared for the repercussions. Are you surprised that Alabama was voted the number one team in the country?
Nope. Alabama will be the number one team in the country for the foreseeable future, unless they just fall off. As long as they make the playoff or make the national championship game, they'll always be number one.
I do have Ohio State win the national championship game.
That's fair.
People, I want y'all to remember, He was doing the Boondocks scene with the teacher and the student. Oh my god! Oh my
What?
god! Do you know? What, do you know? Do you know? Have you
Yeah,
seen that scene?
I know what he's talking about.
No, no. I think Bam was making a joke. There's no way he was serious.
Oh, I was like, there's
Bam
no
has been
way.
making a joke because if y'all know what I'm talking about, first off, that was based off a real event. I don't know if people know
Yes.
that was based off a real event, which made that scene even funnier because everything that they said in the Boondocks, a real human being said this. Oh my god! Hey,
Real
when I found
person
that
said
out,
this.
I said, "Now that was comedic genius." I can't.
That the
I can't even say it
Boondocks.
right now because we're on the air right now. We can't really say it, but that was
But
gold. How you feel about Royce O'Neal putting his mom in the spin bucket at his own basketball camp?
hey, listen, there's an old saying: if they step out on the court, whatever happens is on them.
There's another good saying: anyone can get this work,
Yep. Thank you. That's it. Anyone get to work. She trying
even
to
the
play
mom.
defense, posting me up. Hey, come here.
You bet. Hey, Royce, you better hope she ain't made the collard greens that night because you might not get a plate.
Hey, look, mom ain't gonna do nothing. Mama know who bringing in the money.
So William, Serena Williams is retiring.
Yep.
I want to ask you: is she the all-time goat?
Yep. Her and Tom.
All right,
It's her and Tom.
she's on the Mount Rushmore of
Yeah,
goats.
she is.
Mine is her and Rogers, LeBron, Floyd. I put Floyd on that one.
That's a great. I've never thought of a Mount Rushmore. Let me see. It'd probably be Serena, Kareem, Stone Cold, and
Now, if we was gonna put WWE, I'm throwing the Rock in there. I'll be going back and listening to looking at old Rock and Stone Cold like individual
promos.
Fam,
Yeah, dog. Me too.
Because like, how did they get some of this shit off? Like, how did they
Did
get
you see
some
the
of this
joint?
shit
It
off?
resurfaced. Kurt Angle was talking about he wanted to have sex with Booker T's wife.
Oh my gosh. Oh, yo, Kurt Angle silently used to get some hilarious promos off, especially when he was a heel. Oh man,
Yeah.
Kurt Angle would just come in. Don't let your team lost a sporting event game recently. Kurt Angle's gonna come in, and that's why the Philadelphia Eagles, if they would have had a little bit more American spirit in them, maybe they would have beat the Dallas Cowboys last night. And now the whole Philadelphia arena, boo.
Did you know who's been doing some great promo work though? Roman. Like Roman, Seth too. Roman's promo work.
Roman's a natural. Yo,
Like,
I'm gonna be honest with you. I get excited now when he says "acknowledge me."
me too.
I'm
It works. It works. Like it fits.
It's
You know what it's like when you're the undisputed champion, you can come to the ring and say "acknowledge me." Like, all right, dog, you got it. I'm your tribal chief.
I like his whole stilo now. Like I fuck with his whole stilo now. It's like, hey yo, dog, I run this shit. I got my dogs here. They champs too. I got my man Paul Heyman here too. You address me. You speak when spoken to. And if I don't like you, some dude that I don't even know might just come out the arena and jump you. I ain't got no association with him.
Like he looks at Theory like an infant. Like, I wish you would cash in this money in the bank. I'll beat your ass and I'll send you back to your daddy.
I was like, oh man, this is a good storyline because you know this one's brewing. You know how this one's brewing. I like it. I'm a Roman is. I'm fucking with Roman right now pretty heavily. Honestly, I would say he's probably one of the 3, 4, 5 best wrestlers in the world, like total package wise.
Yeah.
Yeah. Seth Rollins, I mentioned, he's been doing pretty good too. I know he's on a little bit of I want to say a down.
Becky Lynch.
Yeah, Becky Lynch is another good one.
MJF. I know MJF hasn't been on AEW in a long time, but that promo before he left.
Like MJF. Oh, so that was real.
I know it was. He ain't been on TV since. That was real.
Okay, I thought. Okay.
Yeah, he has not been on TV since that promo. That joint was real.
Okay, I did not know that. Okay, wow. Last point. Sue Bird played her last regular season game on Sunday, and she lost.
Yes,
it's okay that she lost. Nothing wrong, but she had a great career. What are your thoughts on her career?
I will say, so I watched that game, and dog, Aja Wilson and Breonna Stewart balling. Like Breonna had 30, Asia had 29. Don't forget, WNBA quarters are only 10 minutes compared to the NBA's 12, and they still got a rest, right? They're not playing 40 minutes straight. Breonna Stewart was letting that thing fly, and Asia was eating them up alive on the block. Back to what you were saying. Sue, one of the best ever. I don't think anyone would argue that. I will say that, and this might be one of the biggest what ifs in sports. Sue Bird has 4 rings over the course of 20 years. Maya Moore has 4 rings over the course of like 6. Like, as she kept playing, Maya Moore might have double-digit rings. Like, that's how good Maya Moore was good at basketball. But this is about Sue. Great career, great human being. I'm glad she's getting her flowers. I hope Seattle gets to play a playoff game at home so they can honor her one more time. But it was a great game, great atmosphere. The WNBA is a great product. I know it doesn't get a lot of love, but I thoroughly enjoy watching WNBA games, and it's a great product.
I would say my thoughts on Sue Bird. I mean, I think when you think about the pantheon of all-time great legendary hoopers, whether it's men or women, I think you have to look at her as one of those icons. I was having a conversation with someone about Lisa Leslie in a similar term. Like, at a certain point in the realm of basketball, I think it's been amazing seeing how some just taking it off the NBA, it's amazing seeing how the careers of some of these WNBA players and how they have really just been generational hoopers. And while, maybe not all the sports community can give them all the flowers that they need, I think the basketball community especially tries to do their real best at giving these WNBA players and these amazing athletic women, the props that they so rightfully deserve. A lot of them, and I think Sue Bird is another one of them. So shout out to Sue Bird on a legendary career, and hope the next phase of it is just as successful as this phase of your career in life. And man, we are entering the point. We're entering the point in our sports fandom lives. We are seeing the first set of OG GOATs, at least for me. I'm seeing the first set of OG GOATs start to retire. Kobe, rest in peace. Serena, we're probably less than 5 years away from LeBron. I mean, Tom Brady, we're probably less than 3-4 years. Aaron Rodgers, we may have 2-3 years.
Dirk retired.
Floyd.
Tim Duncan retired. Floyd retired.
I mean, there's just a list, and then you start going into other sports. George St. Pierre, John Jones. Like, I'm always put John Jones in my GOAT list because I haven't really seen anybody beat him. Fair. Daniel Cormier. I mean, a lot. Anderson Silva. If you go into baseball, there's some legends there. So I just want everyone to really take in, really over this year, maybe the next sports cycle, maybe the sports cycle after that, really appreciate and take in these legends that we have in the game right now, man, because we're entering new uncharted territories across all of our major sports.
You know what's really annoying, and this is completely random? People have said I look like Daniel Cormier before, and that's really annoying. Just because we're light-skinned and bald, I do not look like Daniel Cormier.
DC, I mean, Danny. No, I'm playing. No, I've never seen that. Like, I've never seen that. But now that you mentioned it, maybe a smidge.
I have a theory that all bald black men look alike. Like, if you're the same shade and you're bald and black, someone's gonna call you someone else.
Okay, well, I've been called Damian Lillard and or LeBron James, and both times I've literally looked at these people and said, "Yo, both of the people that you have mentioned are well over 6'1". I am 5'9". Tell me, how the fuck do you see Damian Lillard or LeBron James when you look at me, dog?"
They sound like they.
Now, I had one person say Tyron Woodley, and I said, you know what? I'm going to take that one. Tyron Woodley's a welterweight. I'm in the 170 range. I don't know how tall he is. I'm going to take that. Dude who said that one, I said, I'm not mad at that, actually. Thank you.
Dog, I can top that. Someone said one time I look like Suge Knight.
Okay. This has been episode 67 of Speak On It You please make sure you follow us at Speak On It _ and make sure you follow me at Los Demix. It's LOSDEEMIX on Instagram and Twitter. You Suge Knight, you need to fight them. Before Danny gives his info and let him know where people find us. Want to remind you guys again, like we said at the top of the show, if you're interested in joining the Dynasty League that I'm starting, we have a couple spots. Gator J, I see you. We're going to make sure you get in there, Gator J. Really appreciate it. So Gator J, make sure you can consider yourself in. If you're interested, like I said, $80 buy-in, 10-team PPR is the Dynasty League, so you will keep your league over time. Payout is $700 for first. Second is $100. Danny, let them know where they can find you.
You can find me on twitter.com at madads14, not Suge Knight, because that is not who I am. You can find us, Speak On It _pod, Instagram and Twitter. That is it for us. D, it's fun as always. Yeah, we out.
We out. Danny, it feels like as much as we are talking about the two fantasy leagues that that we're in together, which I happen to be the commissioner of, feels like after we can obviously update the people once we know our draft order for this Dynasty League. We can give people the updates on that, but we will make sure to keep you guys updated on the progress of how our teams turn out. And as the season kicks off, we'll be sure to keep you guys updated on the league. I think this league, especially this one in Sleeper, is going to be a very, very cool league. I'm really excited to test out Sleeper. And Danny, I'm giving you some GM knowledge now. I'm telling you right now, if I really like Sleeper this year, my redraft league is getting moved to Sleeper. I'm just gonna.
Well, we use Sleeper for the Going for Two Riders League, so I'm used to it.
Okay, this is my first time. So, do they do the actual mascot fighting? Is that like a real thing?
Yeah.
Oh, so okay, it's up. It's up. I wish my guy Jordan Long was joining the league just because I want to see my mascot kick his mascot's ass. But he's one of the people who said, "Oh man, I want to join, but I'm kind of in." He's like, "I'm in 3-4 leagues now, man. I don't know if I can do another one." And so then when I told him about the league setup, he was like, "Oh man, that sounds like a good one. Yo, let me know if anyone drops next year." And I said, in my mind, I'm like, "Okay, I got you." But like, if you think these rules are cool and this league setup is cool, what makes you think someone else isn't going to say the same? And my last shout out before we go, I want to give a special shout out to my guy PJ. I don't know if you were here in the show, but PJ actually hit me up yesterday after he joined the league, and he was like, "Yo, I see the rule that you have for the consolation bracket." He was like, "I love it. I only have thoughts on the people who don't win the consolation bracket. Does that mean that essentially if you're a bad team who made the consolation bracket but didn't win the league, goodness gracious, Kyle, but you didn't win the league, does that there's like still a chance that you could get your draft pick in the draft lottery, it could still be bad, and it'd be harder for you to make a bad team better." And I said, "Yo, that's great perspective. I didn't even think about that." So I said, "You know what? Here's what we can do. We can make this consolation bracket, the consolation bracket, everyone don't know, the 4 teams who don't make the playoffs in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Where you finish this consolation bracket will then determine picks 1 through 4. So if you don't make the playoffs, you are guaranteed spots 1 through 4. So you should be able to make your team better because we're going to be doing a snake draft. So even if you're at the bottom, the back half of that 4, you will pick before the first number 1 overall pick at some point. And then for picks 5 through 10, we're going to randomize this during the draft lottery. This will be after this year. So it will still be up. I think this makes it fair for everyone and gives those 4 teams who don't make the playoffs a chance to continue playing, make their team better, and balance it out.
That's what a good commissioner does. He listens to
Trying to. Roger Goodell, if you need some tips, tricks, holla at me. I'm going to charge you no free consultation because I want my fucking money, dog. You're not doing me like Deshaun. But thank you all. Remember, holla at us if you're interested in joining. Kyle said I would not do snake draft for the rookie draft though. Linear drafting like sports leagues. Actually, I think PJ mentioned that too. That's what PJ mentioned. I think that's what PJ mentioned. Like after this year, not making it a snake draft, which Linear. Okay, so let me get this straight. No, linear is like the NFL does it. 1 through 10, 1 through 10, not 1 through 10, 10 through 1.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's cool. Makes sense. Because if we randomize the draft order, then it's okay. Well, that makes sense. All right. I actually like that. Kyle, let's go with that. We'll do that. I like that. Yep. Okay. Cool, people. Thanks for the love, support. Make sure y'all tell a homie to listen or pull up with us. Much love. Peace.
Peace.